Hello, everybody. This time we're doing something a little bit different than we've done before, and we're going to do a video article. So instead of our normally written article, we're going to kind of look at one of the themes we've touched on before and talk about it a little bit more in depth and get into things a little bit in a different way. So today we're looking at motivation. Um, One of the biggest things with motivation is kind of recognizing where it comes from, what you're looking for, and then how you can use that going forward in your life to create changes. So right now it's the backside of New Year's, getting to the end of January, and as most people know, a lot of New Year's resolutions and things that are motivating you are going to start dying out pretty soon. So I figured this would be a good time for this video. To start, motivation is your reason for doing something. Usually it's something that's personal or something that happens in your life that creates a reason in your brain. Your brain goes, oh, this is a point in time that I need to recognize, and it is now going to create some sort of motivation for me to do something. Oh, I want to do this. I want to lose weight. I want to get stronger. I want to be able to run around the world, whatever it is. Um, so when we have those points in time, those things that are motivations, those are immediate and they're finite, and they kind of start a fire in ourselves that allows us to go do something else if we take the opportunity to use those points of motivation and move forward with them. Here's the rub. As we get further away from that point of motivation, it is smaller and smaller. It's kind of like lighting a candle and then gradually walking away from it. That walking away is time, and the candle becomes smaller and smaller and smaller. And it might be really good to light your way at the beginning, but after a couple of days of walking away, you can barely see it. So if you're looking at that as motivation, maybe you had something happen to you and you thought this year, New Year's resolution is going to be stronger. Now we'll start working through the year and we get to the end of January. It's been 4 weeks of walking away from that candle, that thing that happened that made us think, hey, I want to do this for myself. And that was a good thing to do. We recognize that I want this to happen. I want this to be a thing. That has now moved far enough away from us that it's no longer lighting our way anymore. It's no longer a thing that is going to push us forward. It's not a good motivation anymore. It was when it started, but it's not anymore unless it's something that recurs. Maybe it's a doctor's visit, you had some bad news, and then you wanted to go make a change, and every 2 months you have to go back to the same doctor. That's perfect as motivation because it will keep coming back up. As long as that doctor's talking to you about the same thing every time, you'll see progress from it because that is your driving force. Awesome. If it's not, maybe you went to the doctor's visit one time, got some bad news, and then you don't go back until maybe next year. Well, by the time you get there next year, that initial spark, that flame that we lit on that candle is so far away from us, it's not a motivator anymore. We have to find a different way of doing it. So a suggestion that I would make is to look at different places where you can draw motivation from that spur off of your original motivation. So let's say you went to the doctor's office and you got some bad news. And let's say it is that your blood sugar levels or your insulin levels, whatever it is, that are not in a good spot. We went and we got blood tests, it was not good. Doctor said we need to make these changes. We said, okay, we're gonna get into the gym, or we're gonna start riding a bike, whatever it was, I'm gonna go start walking. That's my spur, that's my initial motivation. And that starts things off. Okay, now you've got it going and you've decided to make these changes, and you go and you start, let's say we'll start walking, and we're gonna walk every week a mile. Okay, and you start doing that. Before it gets too far away from that initial flame, something you need to do is go back in and think about what other things are affecting this. Why do I want to do this? If my initial flame is that I need to get my whatever blood issue was seen by the doctor, I need to get that medical issue addressed. How does that affect your life going forward? Do you have kids? Do you have grandkids? Are you hoping to have kids someday? Do you have a job or an aspiration to do something amazing that you're looking at going, well, if I have this medical issue, that's going to slow me down, or it's not going to allow me to play with my grandkids, or it's going to keep me from having a meaningful life in the way I want it to. Okay, those are the things we need to start digging into. So we need to look at, how is this going to affect this next step I'm taking? How is this thing I'm working on going to affect me in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? Lay it all out. If you can, sit down and write it all out. Say, okay, this month I have this event coming up, and if this thing is dragging me down, it will affect this thing this month. Next month I have this thing coming up. 6 months from now I have this thing coming up. As much as you can, lay out how that one thing is going to positively affect your life. those new things you're looking at become your new motivations. If you know that if you work on that thing this month, then at the end of this month, you have a certain event and you're going to go to a walkathon and you will have walked and it's going to be amazing. And if you don't, it will be negatively affecting you. Okay, your next jump from your initial spark of motivation is now the walkathon. We're going to work on it because the walkathon is this month. Okay, work on that. Get to the walkathon. Perfect. In 2 months, I'm going to go to the beach and I want to be able to walk on the beach with my daughter. Okay, that's your next spark. I want to be able to walk on the beach with my daughter and do this mileage and not feel terrible about it. So this is your next motivation. And you just kind of start stringing those motivations together. Before you know it, you're 6, 8 months from the initial start point, and you're not thinking about how it all started. You're thinking about where you're going to next. That next thing you're working on, that next level you want to get to, what is your next little, it almost ties into a micro goal, but it's more of a motivation than it is a goal. Because the things that you're doing are things you're motivated towards, you're things you want. They're not a thing that you want to achieve, they're things you want to have in your life. So as you start with your motivations, always try and take back, if it's not something that's recurring, try and come back, circle back to it, and figure out how that thing that you're motivated to do is going to affect you, how it's going to change things, what you want it to do for you. And then lay out very clearly all the checkpoints along the way that you can find, as many as you can. The more, the better. When you get to a point, those checkpoints will start to spread out. Maybe it's a year between, maybe it's 2 years between. But if you can get through that first 6 to 8 months of being consistent, finding next checkpoints to work through, you will make miles and miles of coverage in what you're trying to do in your goal, in your long-term goal, by finding new little motivations along the way. So my suggestion, if we're looking at motivation coming off on the backside of the year here, is look at what you want. What is it that sparked things? What got things going? What is it you want to do with that? Now look at how that is going to affect things. Lay it all out real simple. Take a sheet of paper and just start writing it all down. Then put that sheet of paper on the fridge. And as you do each one of those things, check it off and just work your way down the sheet of paper. Those new things on that sheet of paper become your new motivations as you work your way towards what you want to be or what you want to have or what you want to do. And this works for a lot of things. It's not just for health. It's not just for fitness. This is not within a silo. It can work for literally everything. Just find a way to apply that to your life, and I think it can make it better. If you have any questions, please feel free to call us. Go ahead and reach out and text or comment on this video. I'll be happy to help you out, see what we can do.